the house that still knew her name. There is a kind of loneliness that doesn't scream, it doesn't cry for attention, it doesn't knock on your door. It simply sits with you every morning in a quiet house that was never meant to be silent. This is the story of a 60-year-old woman who lived alone in America, not because she wanted to, but because life slowly forgot her. Her name was Margaret Ellen Whitmore. Every morning at exactly 6:12 a.m., Margaret woke up, not because she had somewhere to go, not because someone needed her, but because her body remembered a time when mornings mattered. She lay still in bed, staring at the ceiling fan, broken, unmoving, just like most things in her life. The house was quiet. Not peaceful quiet, but the kind of quiet that presses against your chest until breathing feels heavier. She listened for sounds that no longer existed: a door closing, footsteps on the stairs, a voice calling her name. Nothing came. Slowly, she sat up, her joints reminding her that she was 60 now. The carpet beneath her feet was worn thin, not from age, but from memories. Small feet once ran across it. Teenage feet once stomped across it. Now, no feet at all. In the bathroom mirror, Margaret stopped. Gray hair tied back neatly, fine lines carved deep around eyes that had seen too many goodbyes. She leaned closer, searching her own reflection, as if asking, "Am I still here?" Softly, she whispered, "Still here." The mirror did not answer. In the kitchen, Margaret brewed coffee out of habit and poured 2 cups. Only when she reached for the second mug did she realize her mistake. Her hand froze. "Oh," she murmured. Her husband, Thomas, had been gone for 9 years. Heart attack. Sudden. Final. She poured the extra coffee down the sink and watched it disappear. People had told her she was strong. Strong women survive. Strong women move on. But no one ever explains where you're supposed to move when the life you built is gone. Margaret hadn't always been invisible. Once, she was the center of a family. She met Thomas in college. Kind, awkward, sincere. They built a life the American way. A mortgage, 2 kids, Sunday dinners, vacations saved for, not splurged on. Their daughter, Emily, was thoughtful and serious. Their son, Daniel, was loud, curious, unstoppable. Margaret stayed home when they were young. She packed lunches shaped like hearts. She attended every school event. She remembered everything. She believed, deeply, that this mattered. And for a while, it did. But America moves fast. Children grow. Careers call. Time shrinks. Emily left for college. Daniel followed. Phone calls became shorter, then less frequent. Still, Margaret believed. Family always comes back. When Thomas died, Margaret thought the loneliness would be temporary. Her children came home for the funeral. They hugged her. They promised, "We'll call every week. You're not alone. We've got you." But promises don't survive busy lives. Emily married, moved, had a baby. Daniel chased opportunities across states. Time zones became excuses. Margaret learned not to call too often. She didn't want to be a burden. So she waited. And waiting slowly became her full-time job. At 60, Margaret still functioned. She paid bills, she smiled at neighbors, but she noticed things. How grocery clerks avoided eye contact, how conversations ended when she mentioned her age. In America, youth is value. When you stop producing, children, work, noise, you fade. She volunteered at the library, baked muffins for church gatherings. On her birthday, She baked her own cake. She sang softly. The candles burned out while she washed dishes. One afternoon, her phone rang. Margaret froze. Emily's name lit the screen. "Hello?" she said, hopeful. Emily spoke fast. Work, stress, daycare costs. Margaret listened. At the end, she asked gently, "Maybe I could visit next month?" A pause. "Well, things are hectic. Maybe later." Later. They hung up. Margaret held the phone longer after the screen went dark. She didn't cry. Crying alone only makes the house louder. One stormy night, the power went out. The house fell into darkness. By candlelight, Margaret spoke aloud. To no one. "I tried. I really tried." Her voice cracked. "I loved them. I stayed. I don't know when I became optional." The candle flickered. For the first time in years, she allowed herself to grieve, not just her husband, but the life she thought would come back to her. The next morning, Margaret opened the windows. She planted flowers for herself. She wrote letters, not begging, just honest. "I miss you. I love you. I am still here." She didn't know if anyone would answer, but for the first time, she wasn't waiting. Sometimes survival isn't loud. Sometimes